And I'm sure most of you, I don't need to do an introduction. He's played the piano for us and for the symphony. He's a professor of piano at the university, and he's pretty breathtaking and pretty, sorry to embarrass you, but just pretty amazing. And I was so thrilled when Karan Brown-Lehman decided that she'd love to have him compose for her piece. So, Michael, maybe you could say a little something about that process.
Thank you. Karan's process and mine was stretched out kind of farther. It sounds like you were working at high speed, and we kind of moved in the beginning. Karan suggested to me a story, kind of a picture of a princess kind of lost in the forest. And as a musician, that had so many, there are so many things that reminded me, and I thought, we can do this. And the way she described it, she said, I want you to picture sort of an entire magical world, very kind of part of myth and legend, and everything very luminescent. And I thought, this is musically very exciting, and I didn't worry about any of the problems or limitations I had to actually what can you put down that dancers can dance to. And so she would suggest scene by scene, this is the character, these are the people who would probably be on stage, this is the emotions, this is what's happening. Then I would give her a couple minutes of music, and sometimes she'd say, this is it, this is what I'm thinking of. Another time she'd say, can this be more like such and such, or more like such and such, and I would come back with something else. And Karan had said she was sort of hearing kind of 3, 4, or 5 different instruments, maybe flute or oboe, a low instrument, which we decided would be electric bass, some percussion, and of course a keyboard to anchor it. And I happen to know several people in the community who would fit that perfectly. Carmen De Leon, your music director, is a wonderful drummer. Randy Bowman, who is playing the flute part, is the principal flute player in the symphony. And I found with Karan and myself, musicians and dancers and choreographers speak a very different dialect. Sometimes it seems like English to, you know, to a dialect from as far away as possible. But when you really look, I mean, maybe the dancers speak English and I speak the dialect as far as possible. But when you look at heart at if you stand and watch what they're doing, there are so many things in common. There's line, there is structure, there are passages or moves of great intensity and moves of relaxation. And there's the idea in classical dance and in classical music that from the first moment you go on stage and put forth a sound or do a gesture, it should be pregnant with artistic possibilities, all of which have to be addressed, answered, and brought to conclusion. And in that, even though we spoke 2 different languages, we were of one mind. And so it was a very joyful collaboration. So.